Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We begin tonight with our continued coverage of the Savannah Graywin murder trial. Jurors and members of the court today listened to suspect William Haynes' first interview with police. The subject of Savannah Graywin's baby was a big topic, and how the baby came into play with everything surrounding this case. This interview took place on August 23rd. Haynes was arrested the next day. In court, our reporter heard how police said Savannah's baby had cuts and scrapes on her when they found her. Police also wanted to know how the baby was delivered. Haynes was asked about Savannah's baby in the police interview, and here's what he had to say.
So, the baby that's in your house, is that Savannah's baby?
I don't think so.
Whose baby is it?
I can't tell you for sure, man.
Well, that seems kind of ominous.
I don't know. I can't tell you for sure.
We will have more on this story coming up on Valley News Live at 6. Documents released today are revealing why a head swim coach at West Fargo Public Schools was fired. The paperwork tells how some students were afraid during swim practice and that lifeguards had to step in to help out. Valley News Team's education reporter Veronica Marshall studied the documents regarding Ronald Haynes and joins us live with more. Veronica?
So according to the documents, the West Fargo School District acted quickly once it found out about a controversial training technique, firing Coach Haynes just one day after an investigation into his behavior. West Fargo School says last Wednesday night, Activities Director Jay DeCann was sent a video uploaded to Facebook by Haynes showing a student trying to swim 25 yards while wearing a weighted belt. A coach from Pennsylvania also reached out to DeCann, telling him the technique wasn't safe and it would be criminal if she used it. The next day, an internal investigation was launched and students shared their concerns. They told investigators when they asked to stop swimming with the weighted belts, Haynes continued to use the technique. The swimmers also said they were scared several times during practices and lifeguards had to stop because they deemed it dangerous. Later that day, swim team members and their parents were told about upcoming staff changes, and by Friday, Haynes was fired, effective immediately. We also heard from parents about their concerns regarding Haynes' coaching. You can find that story and his response on our website, valleynewslive.com. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Veronica. Tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10, we'll talk about Haynes' other social media posts that played a role in his firing. Authorities from the Stark County Sheriff's Office need your help finding a missing runaway teenager. Fargo police believe Kaylee Miller may be on her way to the Fargo area or already here. She was last seen at her home in Gladstone on the evening of September 18th, wearing sweatpants and a maroon Under Armour sweatshirt. If you see Miller, you can call dispatch at 471-7660. Authorities have identified a Grand Forks man who died in a crash east of Devil's Lake. On Tuesday, authorities say 50-year-old James Theory was driving a sport utility vehicle that struck a trailer being hauled by a truck on Highway 2. The truck had slowed to turn off the highway, and the SUV rear-ended the trailer. Theory died at the scene. It is pretty soggy out there, and it sounds like the rain is going to stick around for a while. Robert, what conditions this evening, too?
Yeah, soggy conditions will continue. It's just been a gloomy day out there. A lot of cloud cover, some cool temperatures, a lot of rain, and some breezy conditions. And those winds will actually increase as we head towards tomorrow morning. 43 right now up in Devil's Lake, 53 in Grand Forks, 55 in Fargo, Wahpeton, and in the Wadena area. Winds, again, they're turning gusty across the northern portions of the valley, and we'll continue to see those winds increase as we head through tonight and into tomorrow morning. A lot of cloud cover, and underneath those clouds, we have seen quite a bit of rain, just about an inch of rain so far here at the official rain bucket at Valley News Live. In some areas, already seeing more than that. The Horace area, thanks to that report, Al Ahmet, 1.65 inches of rain, and we're going to continue to add to it as we head through this evening with temperatures steady to slowly falling through the 7, 8, and 9 o'clock hour. Rain continues tonight. When does it wrap up? And will anybody see any of that rain changing over to another form of precipitation? We'll answer those questions coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Robert. 4 years ago today, NDSU student Tom Bierson disappeared, and authorities still haven't made any arrests in the case. Bierson was a freshman at NDSU and originally from Sartell, Minnesota. His body was found in Moorhead 3 days after he disappeared. An autopsy showed he died of homicidal violence. Tom's dad, Greg, says he's still in contact with police and that this is not a cold case, but still a very active investigation. The family has set up a foundation. You can find more information about it on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Documents were released today that reveal new details in the Jacob Wetterling abduction and murder case. 40,000 pages of documents were released from Stearns County in relation to the case. Jacob was 11 years old when he was abducted near his St. Joseph home in 1989. In 2016, Danny Heinrich confessed and then led investigators to Jacob's remains. Today, authorities say he should have been the suspect from the start and that he was connected to another case out of Cold Springs where another boy was abducted and assaulted. Authorities are also saying the case went off the rails early in the investigation. In a deal with prosecutors, Heinrich was sentenced to 20 years in prison for child pornography. A North Dakota man who rescues dogs in Rolette County, North Dakota, has been in North Carolina for the past week, helping save animals from effects of Hurricane Florence. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz has more on his efforts, including how he's been wading through high waters to bring scared and abandoned pets to safety.
From North Dakota.
I know. Looks like you've seen better days, huh?
To North Carolina.
These two are the ones that weren't letting anybody on the porch, but we're slowly making friends.
That's Keith Benning in the middle of one of his many rescues this week down south.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 out now.
In wake of Hurricane Florence, Benning traveled all the way down from Rolette County, North Dakota, where he runs his own animal rescue, Turtle Mountain.
He said it's really hard down there because you'll go to a place and then you come back and it's totally flooded.
Aaliyah Chappell volunteers for the rescue here in North Dakota.
Yesterday they had a boat full of goats and then there was a chicken.
There you go, you got the big rooster. Watch that roof.
With bad cell service down there, I couldn't reach Benning himself, but he's been keeping supporters up to date on his Facebook page when he can.
It's a good baby. Yeah, I know we're scared. Yeah, scary stuff.
And this isn't his first hurricane rescue. Last year, the former Rolette County deputy visited Texas when Harvey hit, and then Florida to aid in Hurricane Irma rescues.
There is some dangerous situations that you can encounter up there. I think it's crucial to have that rescue experience that he's had.
Tail's telling me you're all bark and no bite. Yeah.
He knows how to handle dogs. It's not as simple as just going up to a dog and getting them to go in a kennel. You have to make sure that you get the dog's trust.
Meanwhile, North Dakotans have been donating supplies and helping out even up here.
Updating him with road closures and road conditions and things like that.
So far, Benning's traveled through different areas of North Carolina, but still has more to go.
It's really up in the air at this point. He's just going to kind of go wherever is needed.
Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
Successful rescue.
Man, that was awesome. Good job, everybody.
Keith Benning met up with 2 others from Texas, and they've been working together on the animal rescues. To learn more about their efforts and how you can help, head to our website and click on this story. You will likely want to check your fridge and freezer because there's a ground beef recall. The USDA is announcing today that more than 66 tons of ground beef is being recalled because it could be contaminated with E. coli. At least 1 person has died and 17 people have gotten sick from what was likely raw ground beef. The beef comes from Cargill Meat Solutions in Colorado and was sold in stores nationwide. The beef was made from the chuck portion of the carcass that may be contaminated. The recall list is extensive, so we've got it listed on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Check the list, and if you have any of the contaminated beef, you will need to throw it out or return it to the place of purchase for a refund. Symptoms of an E. coli infection can include severe stomach cramps, diarrhea, which can be bloody, and vomiting. Some people may have a fever, which usually is not very high. Most people get better within 5 to 7 days. There is more than a little debate about whether or not medical marijuana really works. But in Moorhead today, 2 military veterans say Minnesota's law allowing them access to medical marijuana is a life changer. Moorhead's clinic and the people who run it today are talking about the study and some of their patients. There are quite a few of them, about 400, who come looking for help when other prescriptions and remedies fail them. Dr. Jay Westwater says the investigation done by the Minnesota Department of Health finds more than 40% of people using the cannabis are getting at least some pain relief. And he says it's also helping people addicted to prescription opiates.
There's hard evidence within Minnesota's own program, and this has been duplicated elsewhere in Michigan and New York, that people are able to get off or at least wean themselves off their own medication regimen, large part opioids. People say they feel better, they have fewer side effects, they're just better off from a sense of well-being.
As for costs, it is not covered by insurance. Dr. Westwater says that means the average patient spends $100 to $200 a month on cannabis. In North Dakota, voters approved medical marijuana 2 years ago. Grandparents living at Twin Valley Living Center in Minnesota are being forced to find a new home in a few months. The nursing home announced that it's closing due to financial reasons, and that will affect 58 employees and 35 residents. It is the biggest employer in that small town. Twin Valley Living Center said it will help transition people to other facilities, but a son of a resident said that's not ideal.
If she moves to another town, you won't be there for supper, which we usually try to do. We've got somebody there that, over the last 4 years, visiting her every day.
Twin Valley Living Center plans to close a day before Thanksgiving. That would be November 21st. We have a special show planned for you as Bison Homecoming Weekend kicks off. Mad Dog and Merrill are 2 grillologists who do the show Midwest Grillin' that we air Sunday mornings at 6:30 on both KVLY and KX4, and then again at 9:30 Sundays on KVLY, and on Fargo CW it airs Monday through Friday at 12:30 in the afternoon. Mad Dog and Merrill will be in Fargo tomorrow to celebrate their North Dakota tour. Be sure to catch them live on Valley Today and North Dakota Today right here on Valley News Live at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m.